Well, prepare yourself, guys. Chris, we're talking through the medias, and I'm going to do a quick rundown of my top 10 favorite pictures on the Instagram account for John Black. He's an artist. He is a comic book fan. This guy can draw way better than I ever could. I'm a pretty good artist, but I never could take it to the level that this guy is taking it. And I just became familiar with his work today. Was just introduced to it. I'm scrolling through this guy's account. I like what I see. Let me talk about my favorite pictures. The first one I want to talk about is the Running Man. Now, this is the Flash demonstrating a running man. Sorry about that. Just, step 1, 2, 3, 4 of how to perform a good running man. I already looked at this and I was like, this guy has a great sense of humor because not only is the Flash himself demonstrating how to do a running man, but because he is the ultimate running man. So it's just a joke within a joke within a joke within a joke that this speedster is demonstrating this MC Hammer style. The next one is like an homage to the Batman Returns movie where you have Catwoman and Batman. And what was at that party? What was that line? What was that favorite? One of my favorite lines in Batman Returns. A mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it. Yes, but a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it. Ooh, I didn't know what it meant back then. I was like, what, 10 years old? But when she licked them across the nose, I knew what that meant. Tim Burton. So let's move on to the next picture. Now, if you've seen my channel, you've seen me talk about this subject line with Black Panther and Storm, Aurora. Is it Aurora? Aurora? Storm from X-Men. Now, when Black Panther first was announced, I was freaking out like of the possibilities. What if we could get an X-Men crossover? I knew back then it wasn't really possible, right? I have my story about how Eric Jerome Dickey, a writer that I'm friends with and I appreciate and I love his work. He was hired by Marvel to do the Black Panther Storm, marriage, the wedding, how they met, their wedding and whatnot, those books. He's a great comedic and romantic and action novelist. If you don't know anything about Eric Jerome Dickey, look him up. Look up, if you're a comic book fan, he has a lot of references. He's like almost like another version of Kevin Smith. He reminds me of him. But he has a lot of comic book references in his books. But if you're a comic book fan, read his Gideon series. Action packed. It's about an assassin. It's badass. But if you buy the comic books that he wrote for Marvel about the Storm story, I did a review about this. I love this, the whole story. When I found out that Fox was being bought by Disney, I was like, oh my God, this is it. The dream could come true. It could happen now. So let me move on to the next one. Now, this one really caught my eye. This one really caught my eye, man. You got the first Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, Batfleck, and the way he crushed the old school way of drawing the Daredevil. And I like the way he had Michael Clark Duncan. He goes from black to white. It's just crazy to me how awesome this looked. Now this was when he first starts, and from what I can tell, around the first time he really starts to take a comic book poster of a movie comic book about a comic book, and then do a old school comic book style redrawing of that image of that poster. And you also notice that his likes and the appreciation from his fans, his followers, increased like dramatically. Next one on my list after that was the picture that he did with the X-Men Days of Future. I think this was Days of Future Past, if I'm not mistaken, where he has the Wolverine and was it Days of, I think this was Days of Future Past, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I got that right. I think so. Yeah, this is Days of Future Past, where all the old school and the new school guys come together. That poster, I've always loved this poster. It's one of my favorite X-Men movies, and the way the old school Wolverine with the old school suit and Mystique right behind him. So this is what I like about his style and what he's doing with these posters. See, it's like it makes me think, what if you could take a comic book cover or if you were an artist back then, when in this age of comic books, and you had the foresight to see what movie posters 30 years, 50 years, or whatever in the future were going to be like, these poses, these movie posters are works of art, man. I swear to you, if John Black was to go back in time and to do these drawings in the style and the positioning of the way we do movie posters today, he probably would have been considered the greatest comic book cover artist of all time, or one of the. He would have been right there up there with Stan and and Capullo and all those guys. Well, I mean, it was what's the name from back in the day? It was anyway. Don't make, I'm bad with names, so I can't. I can see the guy in my head, but I can't think of the name. Anyway, the next comic book movie poster that I like, and I might like this more than the Endgame one, is the Infinity War one. Because you got the Iron Man standing out like that, and you have more characters on the screen. So he used a lot of images from the old school style of where these characters were drawn, but I noticed on the Spider-Man, because he has the Iron Spider, you can't go that far back in the past because the Iron Spider suit wasn't really back there. So I think this is more of the early '90s or mid '90s. Most of these drawings, the style that he used, and it just to me it just stands out more. You got Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and you got Vision, Wanda, you got Black Panther with the collar, and you got the Winter Soldier, you got Hulk. That's the '90s Hulk right there. And it just stands out. This I'm telling you, this is a comic book cover or whatever that I think we would have seen in the '90s. So it just stands out. Like the way you have Captain America right there, that old school helmet with Thor. It just pops so much, and it blows my mind. Moving on to one of my favorite. This is like this is why this is up there in the top three right now, and we have the Superman versus Batman movie poster where Superman is floating in the air, looking down at Batman with the bat signal floating, shining behind him, and he's looking down like, dude, I gotta talk to you for a second. that whole scene, I loved it. Do you bleed? You will. Like, how are you gonna talk to Superman like that? Probably because like, I know he won't kill me. I know he won't do it. But at the time, he didn't know that. He hated Superman based on what Batman saw in the beginning of that movie with that little girl who just lost her parent, and the fact that his building got destroyed because these two beings just couldn't keep their stuff from spilling and encroaching on our turf, man. I mean, that look on his face, bro. So that first meeting, that first interaction with that movie, I might go watch that movie tonight because I'm getting so excited about it. That stood out to me, man. I love the way Henry Cavill looked, and I love here's what I really love about this picture. He uses Batman animated series style, bro. Oh man, that's like also this is my jam right here. I love this image. All right, move on. Crazy. It's the Avengers Endgame poster. It's the one that he says that people have been asking for this one for a long time. I've had so many requests for this poster, and I finally got around to it. I really love how it turned out. I did too. I might like the Infinity War one a little bit better, but hey, if you like it, I love it. Now, I think that's probably my third one that I mentioned. Now, there's no real particular order in this. I was really much going back from when the ones that I just like and I just picked them. So don't take this as a top 10 of my favorite, like this is better than that one kind of a thing. This is not really in any real particular order. Next one I think was this number two. I think this that I'm on is Eddie Brock from the Spider-Man animated series, the one in the '90s. He did it in that style with Venom and Eddie, that split face with the with the movie Venom with your boy. Oh man, Tom Hardy. If Tom Hardy didn't to me look like Eddie Brock before, this side by side shot with Eddie Brock from the animated series with Tom Hardy now, perfect casting. He looks just like Eddie Brock from that series. From the other versions of Spider-Man, not really, but from the animated series, this was a perfect pick, and that's probably one of the reasons why they went for him. And then one that really popped out to me. This is like last, but not the. This doesn't mean the best. It's just I just picked 10, and I just want to talk about them. No particular order, guys. Aquaman, the Aquaman poster. It's not, it's not anything special, really. The positioning of it and whatnot, but it's, I don't know. It's just, I guess maybe it's the trick on the eyes, right? You know what poster it's from. Um, you know why the in-game poster probably got the most likes and the most views on his account, but there's something about this poster with Aquaman from this the latest Aquaman movie, or the first Aquaman movie, where even Amber Heard on there and whatnot, even with the drama that's going on with that, you look at this picture, it's like, dude, whether she stays in the movie and franchise moving forward or not, you can't deny, man. That's some good casting. She this look, she knocked it out way more than than Arthur. I mean, they didn't go blonde, they didn't go anything, but as far as strength and power and positioning, I mean, hey, he crushes it with everything else. Um, the beard and everything. It's a beautiful picture, man. And like I said, they went back to the like the it was the 60s or 70s version, comic book version of this character, and it's just that I don't know. I don't know that much about Aquaman comic book covers, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I see too many of them. Like I said, if John Black was to be plucked back in time and take his art that he's drawn with him and everything on his account, and with the movie posters of, obviously it would mess up whatever posters we get today, right? But he would probably make a killing. I mean, considered one of the greatest artists of comic book cover artists of all time. Because the way we position our posters today, and you do it in the style of the comic books the way they were drawn back then, oh man, it just blows my mind. I love this dude's account. I followed it today. I reached out to him. I said, hey, John, I hope you're watching, bro. I said I was going to do like a top 10 list of the pictures that I liked on your account. Here it is, my man. I love your account. I keep up the artwork. You have inspired me to keep up with my drawing. I need to get back on there. I'm a pencilist. I can't ink that well. I haven't studied or done well with coloring in, and I got to get better at that. But as far as an artist, man, hey, I'd love to submit some work to you sometime, guys, and maybe I can try to do that and see if you can help me out with coloring it and bringing it to life. But I would love that. That would be great, man. But let me know what you guys think about John Black's account. Have you seen his account? Did you see any of his artwork here before? If you give him a follow, man. This guy deserves a follow. This dude is a fan. He is a real a fan of this stuff, and he does a really good job. It is very intriguing. You know, the Crow. I need to see the Crow, bro. I need to see that. John, do the Crow. Brandon Lee. If you can't do the Crow, you gotta do the Crow, man. That would be awesome. Do the Crow. I would love to see that. And Spawn. Definitely got to throw a Spawn in there, man. If you can't do it for a fan. Do it for a fan, man. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Let's talk about what's your favorite picture from his account. What stood out to you the most? If you know any other artists out there that you want me to react to or talk about on this channel, send it to me. We can talk about it on We Got Your Mail as well. And until next time, guys. Hey.
It has ever recapped, they'd be like, wow, that was amazing.
You have Morgan Freeman. And as the Nutcracker rises from the ashes.
Web slinging, wall crawling, spider sense.
And it looks good, and I was excited every time the symbiote came on screen. I decided, what are they going to do now?